Hello and welcome to Linear Functions Study Guide Review. Here we're going to go through the study guide for the linear functions test. Now again, I'm going to say this like I said last time. You should not watch this video until you have gone through and answered all the questions you can on the study guide. Once you've done this, watch the video to kind of come back and make sure that you did it correctly. Alright, let's get started. Alright, as you will see, Tom Jones is selling cookies as a fundraiser to raise money to donate to a local children's cancer ward. Cooking, supposed to be cookies. The cookies sell for $6.50 per box. Make a table, equation, and a graph to represent the situation. Then we have to answer yes or no to indicate if the statement is true. Okay, no problem. What I think we should do here is establish what is x and what is y, and if we say that this is the cookies and this is the money, so x is the cookies, y is the money, make it a little bit easier. If we sell one box of cookies, obviously it would cost $6.50. If we sell 0 boxes of cookies, we make no money. And if we sell 2 boxes of cookies, we make $13. Now you can choose any amount for those, as long as you realize that you should be multiplying $6.50 per number of boxes of cookies, so that actually makes it easier to write an equation. I'd say our equation is y is equal to 650x. 650 is our slope, and since when x equals 0, y equals 0, the y-intercept would be 0. You can put a plus 0 if you want, but you don't need it. And so with that, we have a point at 0, 0, so we're going to graph it in the origin, somewhere in the middle there. And then we're going to go up, we're going to go over 1 and up. We can follow the track here. So starting at 0, 0 in the middle, we're going to go over 1, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then over halfway, so we should have a point right about here. Let me add that in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 50. Okay, my finger's a little off, but it should be right around there. And if you continue 2 and 13, you would see that this follows along the same line. So you just kind of connect those 2 points, and you have your graph. So now that we've done that, we can answer the questions. The x-intercept is relevant in this example. Well, our x-intercept is when y equals 0. So our x-intercept is 0. And is that relevant? Well, yeah, you can sell 0 cookies. That's allowed. The examples of when it would not be relevant would have something to do with if you have something that's negative, that's a real-life thing, that doesn't make sense to have negative triangles or negative cookies or something like that. B, the graph has y-intercept. Yes, it does. So that's another yes. C, the y-intercept represents the amount of money raised by the cookie sale. Now, the y-axis over here does represent the amount of money raised. Okay, so that's the y-axis. But when you're speaking specifically of the y-intercept is our starting point, and we definitely make more, and in this case it equals 0, so we definitely make more than 0. So to that we should say no. The y-intercept does not represent the amount of money raised by the cookie sale. The amount of money raised by the cookie sale changes depending on how many boxes you sell, but it's not this y-intercept. D, the number of boxes of cookies sold represents the input values. Number of cookies sold is the input because they are located on the x, so that is a yes. And number of boxes of cookies sold relates to the amount of money raised. That's definitely true because the more you sell, the more money you make, so that is a yes. And on F, the slope of the graph is 13. That is not true. You could say it's 13 over 2, but the slope in this case is 650, so that's a no. Alright, again, when you take the test, just be prepared to answer yes/no questions. Make sure you understand what's going on in your functions. Kind of relates to what we're doing right here. Alright, moving on to number 2. Call Now phone company charges $20 service fee per month and then 35 cents per minute. The A+ phone company charges $15 per month and then 37 cents per minute. Write yes or no to indicate whether the statement is true. Okay. Both situations can be modeled with linear functions. Let's say yes to that, because we can use one for an equation for call now using a slope and a y-intercept, and the a plus for with a slope and y-intercept. So that's definitely yes. B, the y-intercept of the call now phone company would be 35 cents. 35 cents per minute. That's what would mean the more minutes you use, the more 35 cents they charge you, so it gets repeated over and over. And that's not what the y-intercept is. The y-intercept is a one-time fee, and actually the y-intercept of call now would be $20, so that's a no. The rate of change of A plus phones would be 15. Well, you get charged $15 per month once in a month, and then you get 37 cents per minute. 37 cents is the repeat, so the rate of change is not 15, it should be 37 cents. D, the y-intercept of both services represents the service fee. Okay, so the service fee is the $20 and the 15. The y-intercept, yeah, they get charged once a month, right? It's like the starting point, and then depending on how many minutes you get charged, that adds to it. So service fees are the y-intercepts. That's a yes to that one. And the rate of change of both of the functions represents the cost per minute. 35 cents in cost per minute. Rate of change is 35 cents and 37 cents in each one. So that is also a yes. All right, for question number 3, it asks us to graph 3x minus 4y equals 8. And y equals negative 1/2 x minus 2. Then we have to compare the graphs. Okay, so for number 3, I'm going to graph in black. And now, if you notice, the equation for number 3 is 3x minus 4y equals 8. Now, you could rearrange the equations and put them in the slope-intercept form. I'm not going to do that. Since it's already in standard form, I think the easiest thing to do is graph with the cover-up method. So I'm going to cover up to when I'm trying to find the y-intercept, I cover up the x. Okay, so if I cover up this x, I'm left with the equation. I'll write this out. Negative 4y equals 8. If I cover up the y when I'm trying to find the x-intercept, I'm going to be left with the equation 3x equals 8. Okay, so working with this one's not too bad. I'm just going to divide both sides by negative 4, and I get y equals 8 divided by negative 4 is negative 2. So what that means is on my y-axis, I'm going to go down 2 and put a point right around there. And again, my points aren't perfect because, not perfectly, my fingers are too fat to fit perfectly there. But y is equal to negative 2. Alright, now for my second equation, for the second part of this, to find the x-intercept, I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and I get x is equal to, ooh, that's a fraction. That's okay. How many times does 3 go into 8? 2 full times. 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 would be remaining, so 2 2/3. Okay, so x is 2 2/3, so I'm going to go over 2, you follow the track here, I'm going to go over 1, 2, and then just like part way across, put a point. And it's not, doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of estimate where it is, somewhere in there. And now that we have an x and y intercept, we're going to connect them, and there's our line. That, of course, is number 3. On number 4, that one's easier because it's y is equal to negative 1/2 x minus 2. Negative 2 is our y-intercept, so I'm going to put a point right there on negative 2. With my slope of negative 1/2, that means I'm going to go down. Okay, so from this y-intercept, from this point that we started, we don't go back to 0. We start here, this y-intercept, and I'm going to go down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. And put points along the way. Down 1 over 2. Somewhere, oh, I'm off a little bit. Down 1 over 2, right there. Down 1 over 2, right around there. Okay, so you can kind of get the point, connect the points there, and we have our line for, whoops, number 4. Okay, so then the number 5 says, compare the graphs of 3 and 4. What's the same? What's different? So what do you guys think? What's the same about these equations? I think it's the same, that they both cross in the same spot. The same is the y-intercept. They both have a y-intercept of -2. What's different? Well, there's a lot of things different, but one of the main things I would see is, well, you could say either the x-intercepts are different, but the reason why they're different is because number 4 definitely has a negative slope. Slope man would start at the left, slide down. Number 3, slope man would start at the left and climb up. So slide down, climb up. They have different slopes. Alright, so that's part 1. We'll pick up the rest of the questions in part 2 and 3 if I need one. I don't want to make these videos too long, but it takes a lot to explain. So hopefully if you watch part 1, you'll watch again in part 2. Alright, so come back and watch us then.